Hello everyone, it's Mrs. Hale again. I wanted to talk about the Unit 2 video assignment today. Wanted to talk with you a little bit about this PhET that we're going to be using to build atoms. So when you go into the project, you'll click on this link and it'll take you to the screen, and of course you have to click on the arrow to get into the simulation. You'll have some different choices here, but we're going to be building atoms, so we're going to click on that one. And you'll see that we can build pretty much any atom that we want. We have lots of them here in the periodic table that we can look at. We can look at the charge, how heavy it is, how much mass it has, and whether or not it's stable or unstable, whether or not it's neutral or it's ionic, which means if it has a charge. And so you're going to be playing with this. And so you'll notice that atoms are only made up of three types of particles. We have protons, neutrons, and electrons. And so you can see here, this is a hydrogen atom, and hydrogen is the first element on the periodic table. If I wanted to make helium, which is the second element on the periodic table, I would add another proton. And if I wanted to make lithium, another proton. And then if I wanted to make beryllium, another proton. So you can see that the particle that determines the identity of the atom is the proton, because I can keep adding neutrons and electrons and I still have beryllium, right? Beryllium is still my atom because I haven't changed the number of protons. But if I want to go to the next one, boron, I'm going to add another proton. And so you can see that atoms are made up of three types of particles, subatomic particles: protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons are important because they are the ones that determine the identity of the atom. Neutrons, what happens when I take away a neutron is neutrons are actually what determine the stability of the atom. And then when you look at electrons, remember that protons are positive, neutrons are neutral, and electrons are negative. So the amount of electrons is going to determine the charge on the atom. So right now my atom's positive because I have more protons than I do electrons. You can see that I actually have 5 protons and 2 electrons. So if I add enough electrons to be the same as the number of protons, then it will be neutral because the positive charge from the protons will cancel out the negative charge from the electrons. But if I want it to be negative, then I'll add another electron. That's more electrons than protons. So whenever I have more electrons than protons, it's negative. When they're the same, it's neutral. And when there's more protons than neutrons, it's going to be positive. And again, protons determine the identity of the atom, and neutrons are responsible for stability, and electrons are responsible for charge of the atom and determine how it bonds. So you are going to have some fun in here building some atoms. So I hope you enjoy the simulation. If you have any additional questions about the project or the video assignment, please reach out to me. Thanks.